Okay, so welcome to PJ&L, Peace, Joy, and Love podcast by your host, L. This is my first time doing this podcast. There might be a lot of things I don't know. I don't know if this is going to go out or not, but we'll see when that comes to that. Okay, why did I want to start this podcast? I realize it's been a really long journey. If we want to go from the beginning, basically, when I was doing my MBA in New York University, it was nice and all, but, there was a lot of stresses and, life and stuff that got together, and then I started to have really bad anxiety. What I realized is a lot of people around me also have really bad anxiety as well, but they all manage it, in very different ways. And then, I have, a very long self-discovery journey beginning of this year to right now where I have learned a lot, and I don't know, I feel like I need this to remind myself of what I've learned along the way in order to not go back to that period of time where I was so anxious and stressed and fearful about everything. So, peace, joy, and love. What is the concept? So the concept is, as you can see, I'm wearing pajamas inside a bed sheet right now. So, limited recording conditions, but I came to this idea because I wanted to remind myself constantly of what I want to live for, or what I want my life to consist of, which in the end is these three words: peace, joy, and love. And it also happens that, my nickname is L, so PJ and L. Yeah, I know. Creative, right? Okay, anyways. So what did I want to talk about? Peace, Joy, and Love podcast. So what you can expect in this, it might just be some of my personal ramblings, some psychological studies I've found recently, some self-help books. This is going to be a mixture of stuff. But in the essence, it's all things that are going to remind me or inspire me, and maybe hopefully you, of things that inspire the feelings of peace, joy, and love. So, okay, I guess we should start with how do I define these three terms, okay? I think peace, joy, and love are very intimate and very different according to different personnel. They might have different, thoughts about it. But for me, I feel like peace to me is just non-disturbance in a sense. So non-conflict, you can also say, is just, when you go about your daily life, sometimes when you get even from the start of the day, when you get up, you're like, should I get up? Should I not? Oh, the bed's so warm. Starting from the day, we start with conflicts. We start with a little bit of anxiety of stress. Oh my God, I have to do this. I have to do that. And yeah, and that's the opposite of what I want to do. For me, peace is just getting up, and you're simply getting up and being here, being present. I feel like peace is just a lack of internal conflict. For me, that is what peace is, and peace is... Yeah, that is what peace is for me, basically. And joy. So joy, I think, is more intuitive enough for a lot of people to just understand. If you've never felt joy in your life, I feel very sorry for you. But hopefully, I feel like most of us have, right? It's a simple feeling of just, there's the chemical explanations of adrenaline and then dopamine and oxytocin and all that stuff. But I like to think of it a little bit more magical than that. It's just, seeing something and smiling. I just want to define it as that. Seeing something, doing something, whatever, and you smile. That's it. That's what I think brings joy, what defines joy to me. Okay, what is the last one then? The last one, love. Love, I think, is the most mysterious one out of all of them. It's more so it's almost a combination of previous two, but love is in very different forms and can seem very different. And, also we love to put love into different categories, between friends, between family, between lovers. The one that is obviously commercialized the most is between lovers. And I, like a lot of people, fantasize about that, but we'll get to that topic later. But anyways, love, what is it? I honestly think love is just all-encompassing acceptance and support. And it's more energetic than peace. Peace is just, it's like a calm water stream. It moves a little bit, but not too much. But love can be very powerful. I feel like love can be very motivating. but also very calming, very supportive. And it just has more power, I feel like. It's more so all encompassing and all giving in a sort of sense. That's what I think love is. Yeah. So yeah, that's my definition of these three things. Okay, so what was the next topic? Right. I wanted to talk about what brings me like each of these in terms of experience-wise, peace, joy, and love these days. Just as a reminder to me and maybe to people out there of, to bring this emotions up again. Oh, right. Cutting back to why I started this podcast. I felt like, I've been such a long self-discovery journey of, what is my life like and what do I want my life to be like? And what are things I want to feel and what are things I want to think? I've been getting to Dr. Joe's work, if you know about him, also all sorts of other meditation and internal psychology discoveries. And it boiled down to these three words, like I explained. But also, it's because I feel like in the journey of doing this, I feel like I forget about it sometimes. I forget about I need to remember these things because where you put your attention is where you put your energy. And honestly, where your focus is where your life is. Like literally, like where you put your time and energy and thoughts towards, that is what your life in essence is. And I want my life to be full of joy, peace, and love. And I feel like for the past few weeks, for some reason, I've been struggling a lot, getting back into my old self in a very fearful and stressful state. And I want to remind myself that I can very much choose to be different. But in order to be different, I need to, put my energy in a different way. So I am choosing to put my energy towards this, towards creating joy, peace, and love, or peace, joy, and love in PJ&L spirit. So that's why I started this podcast, and hopefully this will be an inspiration to myself. And if it is an inspiration to you, that would be a very great side bonus as well. So, okay, what inspires peace for me recently? Honestly, I feel like maybe being with my cat. Like, I'm sorry, I'm always like my eye has something in it. I don't know why. My cat recently is very affectionate towards me for some reason. I have no idea why. But, sometimes I pet her and, just enjoy the sensation of her soft fur. And it's really, it's like there's nothing else on my mind at that moment. It's just, And also meditations, of course. Meditations where I put myself in nowhere and no space. And if I'm able to, it's usually just a few moments of pure peace. And that's what I feel like is a peaceful moment recently to me. Okay, joy. Joy is immediately on my mind, and this might be something a lot of people relate to. I recently love a very great drama. It's a Chinese drama. Probably most of you haven't heard of it. Is Love Game by an Eastern Fantasy. I hate that English name, by the way, because it does not capture the original poeticness of the Chinese name, 永夜星河, which is you could tell is like the eternal Milky Way is like a direct. Eternal Night Milky Way is like a direct translation. I don't know why they went for Love Game in Eastern Fantasy. I guess that sounds more poppy and sounds more, catchy. But besides that, anyways, I love that show, and it literally pulled me out of a state of like, honestly, it was kind of depressing. I was in very ashamed, very, self-doubting and like fearful and that type of state, and pulled me out again. So I thank it very much. And also I'm just I don't know about you guys, but for me personally, like really good actors and acting really gets me. Like I can look back to their performances like and look at their every single expression in their eyes and be like, oh my God, that's when he felt that, and then that's how he expressed that. It's like I'm extremely into that stuff, and plus he's very handsome. Yeah, you know what? It's we love looking at beautiful things. What can I say about that? And yeah, I have been like having, and also his like I've been looking at his like actor interviews and all that, and he's a very hardworking and like not serious, but he's serious about his work. Passionate person. So I love that for him, and and he inspired me to do the same. And this is partially the reason why I'm creating this, because I want to create something like he did and not just consume. I mean, consuming is fun and stuff like that, but I feel like I want to be able to say I'm a creator. I think that's the main reason. Yeah, and that brings me joy, honestly. Like doing little things such as this, and I've been like doing a little drawing, a little writing. It has been, I feel like that has brought joy to my life, honestly. It's just like, that it's different from like the dopamine hits you get from like TikTok videos and stuff. Those are like instantaneous and then gone. And it's kind of empty, the things they give you. But for this, it's much more fulfilling in a sense. And I think that's true joy. I mean, it brings a smile to the face. I mean, sometimes TikTok videos can do that too. But I feel like this is like more consistently more fulfilling, and I feel good about myself afterwards, So that's great. Okay, lastly, love. When have I felt love? Honestly, love is this thing that I feel like I'm feeling the least these days, because I'm honestly in a situation right now where there's like nobody around me. And you know what? Like people say, oh, maybe you can feel self-love. And honestly, like they say that and they're right. And I want to be that, which is why I'm like making this podcast in the first place, right? I want to do more acts of self-love in that sort of sense. And I think I have been loving myself every single day with, maybe I'm just like too dumb to notice in a sense. No. I think it's just, I need to pay more attention to it is what I think. And if I have to say something, I guess it would be me being committed to this stuff. So I am committed to doing, 1 hour plus meditation every day. I mean, ideally it could be 3 hours, but, I'll take what I can get. And honestly, just putting more emphasis on me, putting more emphasis on how I feel, and trying to live my life. I guess the biggest act of love you could do is trying to live your life according to what you really want. And honestly, has been what this period of time has been for me, is trying to really figure out what I want. And I think that's an act of love. And that takes commitment, love is commitment in that sort of sense. So I define that as the love I experienced recently. And also during meditations, I can also feel the self-love for myself. So yeah, I think that's it. That's the little intro to the PJ with PJ&L podcast. Hopefully you enjoyed this as much as you did, as much as I did. I enjoyed it a lot. I don't know how long this is going to be, but we'll see. Hopefully you have more topics to talk about and more comprehensive things to do in the future. All right, see you guys soon. PJ&L out.